Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday show. I'm Hammer, and I'm joined by my two favorite Wednesday show hosts, Jen T. Maxey.
Hello.
And Terry Diamantis.
Hello.
How you doing, Jen?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I am well. Terry, how are you?
I am okay. A little bit tired. I bought new pillows, so I'm not sleeping well as I break them in. But other than that, I'm fine.
I need new pillows. I have the really long ones, but they're like maybe 3 or 4 years old now. And every time I try to go out and get pillows, I can never find the really long ones. I can only get the ones that are like maybe like 2.5, 3 feet long. I like the ones that are like almost body pillow size.
Okay.
Because I turn over a lot. So I don't like to turn over in bed and stay in the same spot. I just roll to one side or roll to the other. So I move across, the bed a little bit when I turn over. I don't just spin in place. So,
right.
So yeah, my pillows are getting to the point now where it's probably about time to purchase new ones. I put them through the washing machine enough that they've gotten pretty beat up. So
fair enough.
It's time for new ones.
Yeah.
But so we hadn't gone over the topics for show tonight. We usually do that. We usually do that. Well, I just sent it to you, and I forgot to send it out to everybody else on Twitter.
All right.
So it's on the show header, but I didn't put out the tweet to say, "Hey, everybody, come join us." So I don't know. I got kind of busy because the music. I waited till the last second to do the music. That's what kind of screwed me up a little bit. So let's go over the topics real quick.
Wilson is obviously about Tim the Toolman's next door neighbor. Tyson, I'm going to assume, is Mike Tyson because why not? Capture, I guess you misspelled capture as in the thing you have to type in to prove that you're not a robot on website. And I'm guessing you also misspelled buried, and it is actually BERRIED, and you're adding berries to some recipes. Okay, there we go. We covered everything.
Yeah, completely wrong on all this. Yeah, I don't know why I had a checklist. I used to have a checklist next to me on my monitor to go through all the things I had to go through before the show, but I've gotten so comfortable that I'm like, oh, I know how to do this all automatic now. I don't have to worry about having a list anymore. And I took it down a couple of weeks ago, and for the last 3 weeks, I've missed something somewhere along the line every time. So it's time to put the list back up. Tonight's show's the first topic is Wilson, and this is Sydney Wilson. She's the 33-year-old black, 6 foot tall, 6'6" basketball player that was fatally shot in Fairfax County, Virginia.
That is a tall woman, 6'6".
That's it's a basketball player. Yeah, they're all pretty tall. But I saw the video. There's a video out there. It's available. It's not like being hidden or anything like that, like most of these videos are. Of what happened. So I'll let everyone go. I can't show it obviously on YouTube.
Oh God, no, not on YouTube.
So, but it's out there. It's on Rumble. It's on Twitter. So you can track it down. But it looks like a good shoot. But we'll talk about that more. Tyson is not a brand of chicken, although it is. In this case, it is Neil deGrasse Tyson, being the asshole that he is. I used to defend Neil deGrasse Tyson all the time. But Polly used to give me shit all the time. That other guy, Polly something or other, he used to give me shit about. He's like, "Oh, I hate that fucking guy. He's fucking dick." Blah 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 blah. And I was like, "He's just a science communicator. What the hell?" He's made it obvious that he's a Democrat and he fucking hates Elon Musk. So that's that. They're on the same team, but he's got to badmouth him. So we'll talk about that.
My thing with Neil deGrasse Tyson is he's a killjoy. Like. He'll take something that everyone likes and he'll say, well, here's the reason scientifically why it's not actually interesting or cool or fun.
Right.
And it's like, well,
yeah,
okay, thanks for ruining Christmas.
Yeah. Well, the one time Polly's been right. The guy is a dick. I was wrong. I used to defend him. So anyway, capture is not captcha. It is capture. The Elon Musk ship of the future that's going to take us to Mars called Starship. Finished a test flight 2 days ago. I think it was 2 days ago. That's when the video came out.
Is Starship going to build the cities on rock and roll?
It would. It's at least going to build the cities on Mars. But it didn't finish the test flight. The main Starship system did go into orbit. The booster returned to Earth. The booster does not land on land. It lands on a tower, and it is captured by cozying up to the side of the tower, and the tower grabbing it in midair. The tower is called Mechazilla. Because Elon Musk likes to name his equipment really silly names, but in any case, it was a successful test. The booster came down, cozied up to this.
His social media platform a silly name.
Yes, he was in the obviously in the control room when the capture took place, and it worked perfectly. No damage.
Oh.
Everything worked exactly like it was supposed to. It was a thing to behold. If you get a chance to check out the video on it, do, because it is very. It's going to be more emotionally impactful for Americans, because when you do something in America that's successful, it's all about pride in the country, that kind of thing. So it's going to hit us different than it's probably going to hit either one of you, but it's still pretty amazing to watch, to see this thing that's taller than the Statue of Liberty fall from the skies at breakneck speed, fire the rocket, slow down, and be captured like it was something that happens every day. It's pretty amazing stuff. And finally, Bairied is not being buried alive, but I'm pretty sure that's the way it's going to turn out, because Kamala is going to face Brent Bairied, get it, on Fox News in an interview. Now, I don't know if this already happened or not. I haven't really been paying attention. I know it's supposed to happen. When it's going to happen, not sure. I have to do a little more work on it, but I don't think it's happened yet. So we'll see. But it's going to be a disaster. I'm calling it now, before it actually happens. Hopefully before it's happened. That it's going to be awful, because she's going to word salad, and Brent Bair's not going to let her get away with it. He's not going to let her get away with it. So she's either going to she's going to be forced to come through and look good, or she's just going to fail outright. And I believe she's going to fail. I don't think she has the competency.
I don't know who that Bayer guy is, but I know of Kamala Harris, and I know her speaking skills are somewhat lacking.
Somewhat.
So yes, it'll be a disaster.
Yeah, he is not Hannity level, but he doesn't allow people to get away with shit very well. So he's pretty good, but I've only seen him do a few interviews. The
most important story that Hammer neglected to cover: Asmongold got kicked off Twitch. That's obviously very important.
But tell us why.
Because he was saying that he didn't give a fuck about Palestinians getting genocided, and he made the point that, look, if they had their way, they would genocide themselves. So no, I don't care that it's happening to them. Like, the only reason they're losing, they're not killing as many as the Israelis are, is because they don't have as many weapons. If they had the same capabilities, they would be. So no, I don't feel bad. And then he pussied out and apologized. So
keep in mind that they banned 1 of 4 of his Twitch accounts.
Oh, I didn't know that. I just heard that he got banned. I didn't hear that.
He got 1 of his 4 Twitch accounts got temporarily banned.
Okay. But yeah, he shouldn't have apologized, is my point.
No, I don't think so either, but I understand he has more to lose on his channels than we do.
Sure, but like he should know that apologizing isn't going to fix anything. Like, now that he's apologized, you're not going to be like, oh, okay, well, he's sorry, let's leave him alone then. No, they're going to be like, there's blood in the water, let's ruin this guy's life.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let me answer a couple of quick questions. Keyword said, who shot her? It was a Fairfax County police officer. I don't remember his name, but he was Hispanic, so it wasn't a white guy. That's the reason I say it, is because it wasn't a white guy. But when she came after him with that, I guess we can get into it. When she came at, this is Sydney Wilson, a 33-year-old 6'6" basketball player who got shot. When she came after him with a cleaver or a very large. I couldn't make it out even in the pictures, but it looks like like a cleaver or a very large knife, kitchen knife, and she hit him with the knife. He's bloodied. So yeah, he got hit. It wasn't like he just, you have a knife and you're 30 feet away, I think I'll gun you down. No. This is a legitimate shoot. She opened the door, said hi, and closed it. So he banged on it again. She said, hello there, and then swiped at him and hit him with the knife. He pulled out his gun, put 3 shots in it, and ran. He ran down a hallway that was he couldn't get away from. It was a cul-de-sac, and she came after him again, and he put 3 more into her and killed her. So.
And just to address Chad, JB is saying, I don't think they can ruin Asmongold Gold, and apologies are valid sometimes. Public apologies very rarely are. If he's hurt someone on an individual level, absolutely apologize to them. But apologizing to the public, no. Never
apologize. Never apologize. Also, Mash said if Elon had any sense of humor, he would name it Jefferson Starship. Pretty funny.
But no, I mean, apologizing on a personal level, absolutely. Sometimes that's valid. Like if I do something to upset you, like I can't think what, but I do something and it upsets you. Yes, it would be valid for me to apologize for that. Apologizing to the public, I can't see any reason to do it.
It never ends up benefiting anybody. They don't let you quote unquote get away with it, and you just look weak.
Well, one, you've admitted guilt by apologizing, which is how they're going to interpret it. Whether it's right or not, they will say, see, why did he apologize if he didn't do it? So they'll see that as a confession, and they're not going to forgive you. They're just going to be like, well, we've learned that if we harass him enough, we can make him do what we want. So let's harass him more. It's never a good idea to apologize to them.
Don't apologize. If anything, double down.
And apologizing to the public in general is rarely sincere. It's rarely a good idea. Just, you said what you said, own it. Just be like, yeah, fuck the Palestinians, I don't care. If that's what he thinks, that should be what he stands by.
Yeah. Well, I can't think of a more polarizing subject at the moment right now. It's Palestinians, and I don't have a good take either, to be honest with you. If I said something, I'd probably have to apologize too, because I come down hard on the wrong side, I think.
I'm not going to apologize. Like if I said something and some Palestinian was like that I was friends with, I'm not friends with any, but hypothetically, if someone said, dude, you shouldn't say that, I'm Palestinian, blah, blah, blah. Oh, look, sorry, man. That's fine. On an individual level, if you've hurt someone personally, absolutely apologize to them. But public apologies is what I'm complaining about.
Yeah. I'm not very good at apologizing, especially when I don't think I'm wrong.
Yeah.
If you can prove me wrong, I'll be the first one to apologize. Absolutely. But my takes on the whole, I don't even think I should even say anything when it comes to Gaza and Palestinians and all that kind of stuff, because it's I don't have a good take. People would hunt me down and kill me if I'd say what's on my mind.
KVDM has a point. We should say hi to chat.
Didn't I say hi to chat?
Nope.
We skipped that step.
Got to get that list. Remember to say hi to chat. Jen, why don't you go ahead and start that off?
All right, let me go all the way to the top. Hi, Hammer.
Hi.
Hi, KVDM. Hi, Rotten. Hi, Cynic. Hi, Mike. Hi, Bash. Hey, JB. Hi, Jack. Hi, Costin. Let me go down a little bit more. Hi, Mykar. Make sure I get everybody. Hi, Critical Thinkers Guild, also known as Chaos. And let's see. Hi, Six. And I think that's it, except for the minions, which is us. But hi again, Hammer.
Hi.
Let's see. Over on Rumble, we've got Gunsky, we've got JB, we've got Cynic, we've got Corsten, and I think that's everyone. Yeah, that's everyone.
People still made it here, even though I didn't tweet out a link. That's nice. I'm going to keep doing it, though. Everyone else does it. I don't know if it really works that well, but I'm going to keep doing it. So anyway, that's the story. The thing about this is that this happened in Reston, Pennsylvania, which is right next door to Fairfax. I guess I'm not sure why a Fairfax cop would be in Reston. They're two different cities, but maybe they're helping out. Maybe they're shorthanded or something like that. Maybe. Reston is about 15 minutes from my house in Virginia. It's that close.
And
Like I can get on my roof and look and see the Reston Tower from my house in Virginia.
And Keegan Chat says maybe she should stop apologizing. You should only apologize if you think you've done something wrong. Don't apologize for things that you haven't done wrong, which is a bit excessive. Yeah. So don't. If you haven't done anything wrong, there's nothing to apologize for. That's the general rule.
I've always felt that don't apologize for someone else's feelings.
Yeah, of course.
You know, because feelings are
like,
they're subjective. So what hurts one person's feeling doesn't hurt another.
Have you done something that you think you shouldn't have?
You're always going to hurt someone's feelings. If you have an audience like he has, you're going to say hello, and then someone's going to say, "I hate the word hello. You should always say hi. I'm hurt."
Yeah, I know. There's some people who are like, it's got the word hell in it. Hello is offensive. And it's like,
yeah,
you're never going to appease everyone.
It's also realistically, I wouldn't be at all surprised if a lot of people who reported him in the first place were probably just Hassan fans, because Twitch is like so flooded with those type of people. No. They were waiting for an opportunity to pounce. I wouldn't apologize to them at all. Hassan's a fucking goof.
No, I think the public apologies should basically never happen. Mm-hmm. Private apologies only if you've done something that you're genuinely remorseful for. Like if you're like, no, I fucked up. I shouldn't have done that. That was on me. Then yes, absolutely apologize. But to the person that you've wronged, don't apologize to the whole world because you said something that some crazy people got upset by. That's ridiculous.
Wow. Anyway, he was the only reason I really even know about him is because he was a big World of Warcraft guy. I don't know if he still is, but he was.
He talks about it on occasion. I listen to him a bit, like the last couple of months I have, just because some of the people he's been responding to are people I watch for the Gamergate 2.0 stuff. Mm-hmm. He's got a fairly even take. Like, he's still a liberal. Like, you know, people who are liberals haven't just suddenly changed overnight. A lot of them are just looking at everything going on and like, no, this is nothing like what I believed growing up. I don't know what the fuck all you are talking about.
His name's Charlie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's a lot of what he talks about. Like, so sometimes
his name is Charlie, sorry?
Esmond Gold's name is Charlie, isn't it?
I thought it was Zach. Because like his name is like Zach Raw on
maybe it's one of his handles. Maybe it's like his Rumble handle or something like that, or his Twitter handle. He's not Esmond Gold everywhere.
I don't know him. Maybe his name is Charlie, but he refers to himself as Zach. So I'm assuming his name is Zach.
Okay.
Yeah, like I wouldn't say I'm like super pro him. Like he is an old school liberal. There's times where I absolutely don't agree with him because I've never been an old school liberal. But
I like Esmond. He seems pretty all right.
Well, he's honest about his takes, you know, and they're not new takes to me. Like I said, old school isn't bad. Like I at least recognize what he's talking about.
I mean, until he apologized, my thought on Esmond was that he's got the balls to stand by what he says. Like he'll just tell you his opinion. He doesn't care if it upsets people, and that's how it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know of him very well, but every time I hear a take from him, it's usually pretty reasonable. It's not like Hassan where every word out of his mouth is pure bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
There's that. So why don't we move on from Sydney Wilson? But if you do get a chance to view that that video, it's pretty clear that this was a good shoot.
Okay.
Of course, BLM just lost their fucking minds immediately.
Of course.
And then the video came out and they're all like, oh, never mind. So anyway, I guess because she's fairly known, she's a basketball player. So it's like
I've never heard of her.
It's like shooting Shaquille O'Neal, but not as popular. Tyson, I hit up in the beginning of the show. Like I said, I've always thought Tyson was a pretty good guy, but I ended up being wrong because the more I've gotten to listen to what he's doing, he took over Sagan's TV show.
Cosmos,
yeah. And it seems like instead of trying to make you think about how wondrous space is and how creation works and all that kind of stuff, He's more about debunking stuff. You're right when you say that. It seems like he just wants to take the fun out of everything.
Yeah.
So the fact that he went after Musk is what I just don't get, because not only did he go after him for no real reason, but he basically lied his ass off, and he was easily caught. He said Musk is not doing anything that NASA hasn't already done.
Oh, okay.
What the fuck is that?
So it's not the same person. But I got a chance to watch Monkey's stream yesterday, and they had Undoomed on.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And they started discussing Thunderfoot.
And I fell asleep before that happened.
So I think so when they started talking about Thunderfoot, Thunderfoot hates Elon too.
Long ago.
Oh, big time, yeah.
And
if you look at Thunderfoot's channel, it's like 90% of the videos are fuck Elon.
He's still doing videos?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he disappeared.
It's all fuck Elon. And yeah. I think it's the same reason. It's because Elon has his own funding. Like he, if he wants to outpass NASA, he can. Is he doing anything different? Well, no, of course not. I think he has ties with NASA. I think he works with NASA. I wouldn't be at all
have ties with NASA, but that the statement that he's not doing anything that NASA has already done is objectively false. Because when was the last time NASA landed a rocket on the planet?
And that's exactly right. Like they're jealous because he's actually going out and doing the things that NASA actually should still be doing. Like, what has NASA done lately?
Keep in mind that NASA's budget is 5 to 12 times more than SpaceX.
Which makes it even more impressive.
I know. This guy is not only beating them up pretty hard, but he's doing it on a budget. When it comes right down to it, sure, it's $1 billion, but NASA's $12 billion. So, and NASA has not landed a rocket on ground, nor have they landed it on a barge. Remember, he's been doing that. And now they're capturing it out of thin air. NASA hasn't done any of that.
You know what I think brought Thunderfoot down? Because he has faded into obscurity, because he used to be very well known, and now no one really cares about him. He went after Sargon.
Yeah, well, he was butthurt about the Brexit thing.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, people who watched both of them realized that Thunderfoot was taking Carl out of context, and then when Thunderfoot's reply was, "This is how I've always edited my videos," it was like, oh, fuck you then. And then that hurt him a lot.
Yeah, I wasn't even privy to all that. I never really watched either of those creators. I know Carl. I mean, I don't know him, but I know of him. And I know he's still relevant. But not at the peak that he used to be. But I always thought Carl was very based in the sense, not just the internet sense of being based, but he seems reasonable based. It's not just you're a Republican she based. No, not that kind of based, but just reasonably understandable, honest.
Sargon lost me for the same reason Asmongold lost me. He apologized. Do you remember way back when he said to Jess Phillips, "I wouldn't even rape you"?
Yeah.
He apologized for that. So no.
Did he really?
He did.
Oh no! I didn't know he apologized.
I've never looked at him the same since. It's like, first of all, why did you apologize? But secondly, why did you wait 6 years or more, 8 years to apologize? That's like, come on.
It depends on how you go about an apology in that situation. If he would have said something like, "I probably shouldn't have said that," all right, well, that's reasonable. You probably shouldn't have said that, But if he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings,"
no, it wasn't a groveling apology. It was of course, I contributed to the coarsening of political conversation, and I hope Jess Phillips can accept my apology.
Oh, geez.
It's not a groveling apology, but why did you apologize at all?
It's close enough.
Yeah.
I think it's I don't know about him at the time, because things are very different at the moment, but I think a lot of people in England are kind of talking to each other because the common denominator is that everybody hates Starmer.
Oh yeah.
I don't think anybody from those days has retained the popularity they had during those days, because
No,
to be
of
a
course not.
good guy, you really had to have a good bad guy, and all the bad guys kind of went away. So the
Yeah, I
good
mean,
guys
there's
don't
no
have anybody
Christian
to rail
Rufus, there's no
against.
Steve Shives.
Yeah, they all kind of faded. So because there's
No.
no bad guy, you can't have a good guy. So
But I mean, I would even say Monkey's lost relevancy since, like, the Christie crew have faded from the
of
public.
all the people in the space, I don't really think his popularity has changed as much as everybody else. The
No,
bigger
no,
ones
no, no,
fell
not as
quite a bit. Monkey might have come down a little bit, but not really that much. The only thing
not as
that
much, not as much. But
yeah,
consider that he's not making videos anymore. That also hurts
right.
his
That's what I was about to
channel
get
a
to.
lot.
Yeah, his Dear Dumbass was a chance at a lot of good things happening from that. That was a
Yeah, yeah,
brilliant
yeah.
idea, and I assume he dropped it because people could sue him, I guess, or something,
No,
or
he was
I
worried
don't know
about terms
why.
of service.
Oh yeah, that's
Because
the thing
there was a
too.
terms of service change that said targeted harassment was against terms of service, and I
Yeah,
think Dear Dumbass would have been fine, but he was just worried and he wasn't willing to risk his
it's
channel
probably a
on.
smart move to be worried about it because
No, I mean it was, but that was the reason from memory was terms of service made it clear that targeted harassment was no good, and he's like, I'm not going to risk it.
yeah, it's less of a risk today because you can still get on the internet and still have your opinion now because there's other platforms.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
that
yeah.
they're as popular, but you can make money off of Rumble.
No, there's a YouTuber that V and Jack Gunsky both put me onto called the Aristocratic Utensil. He does the same content that used to be popular 6 years ago, where he'll do just like the reply guy videos, where he'll take some crazy feminist and reply to them. And
Oh
like,
really?
there's a reason I still watch him. He's good.
Yeah, send me a link on Twitter. Um,
Yeah, well,
the well, it's something I think I would still be interested in watching because I still don't like feminists, so
yeah.
it would probably
Well,
fit me okay.
it's not just feminist. It's just like he's very, very right wing, and so anything in the left that he will make fun of. So he'll make fun of Kamala, he'll make fun of Biden, as well as the sweet baby stuff. He's like anything that's left wing, he'll like rip into.
There was a lot of good creators that just were gone, like Black Pigeon Speaks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Another excellent person. Now he's
He's still,
Felix Rex
He's
Still on
yeah.
Twitter.
and not really making videos very often. They're not very popular either. There was a black girl, not Candace Owens, but had similar right wing views as Candace Owens. And was quite a bit younger and prettier. But I can't remember her name. It was
Kamala?
Joanna. No, it was like Joanna or something like that. I can't remember her name, but she was an anti SJW person in that time period too, who had just gotten a little bit popular and was ready to explode, kind of like Lauren Chen did, and then
Okay.
didn't. I don't know what happened to her, but she was
No, I don't know. I
not
don't
only
even
was
know who
she
you're talking about.
yeah, not only was she really good, but she was a pretty girl. She could have turned that into what Lauren Chen did. She could have done exactly the same thing and been very popular because that's what Lauren did. She
Do you
became
remember Rage After Storm?
oh
She
yeah, the
was
Nazi. I
quite
remember her.
pretty, but she fell in with the race realist crowd and
She
got
was-
exiled from the community.
she had like a very Fuentes kind of approach.
Yes. Oh, and Six in Chat mentions Teal Deer. I remember Teal Deer.
Oh yeah, Teal Deer.
Mhm.
That's
His videos were funny.
very
Yeah.
cute way to go about it. TLDR.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then
yeah,
his
Teal
logo
Deer.
was a deer that was teal in color.
Yes.
It was like that's great. That's a great thing. Is he she they he's still around?
Teal Deer is a guy. Yeah.
The guy? Okay. I haven't.
Because he got offended by someone saying that men don't show their emotions,
They
and
don't.
he gave this like big long personal story about his time in the military, and it's like you could tell, one, he was telling the truth, and two, he was like deeply affected by this claim, and he's like, fuck you for saying that, and like really
Thanks.
laid himself bare, and like respect to him. It's like takes guts to put that kind of thing out there.
Well, I guess I mean, I don't know. I think men are generally more. I think the point was that men are more stoic. I mean, ask any woman; they'll tell you.
Well, I think the point is men show their emotions. It's just not the same way as women do, and it's not in woman-approved ways.
Yeah, it's not a women-approved emotions.
Yeah, so like men aren't going to break down and cry because that's not how we express our emotions, but we still show them. Like I can tell when someone's upset, even if they're not sitting there with tears streaming down their face. You can tell by how they say things, their general demeanor. You can tell they do express it. It's just not as upfront as women do.
What women don't understand is we're not holding back. It's natural for us to be that way.
Yeah, exactly.
They think there's a problem. Oh, you should be able to show your emotions. This is me showing my emotions. It's just because it's not as obvious or as exuberant or whatever. Doesn't mean that, we don't have, I can only speak for myself. I'm not a person who's interested in displaying my emotions. My emotions are for me to feel, not for you to see.
But Keith says stoicism is boring. Well, I mean, it's not. We don't do it for your entertainment. It's just how we act. It's just like how we are. It's just.
I think Jen and a lot of the women that follow this show and that are friends in this group understand men much more than the average girl does. But I believe that the average woman believes that for the most part, men's handling of emotions are broken.
Yes, no, they do.
I've never thought that, but I have
what I just said. You don't think that?
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not that. I have a respectful relationship with my dad.
That will help. That will
Sorry,
significantly help.
I had to say that.
No, but that's true. If you've got a male figure in your life, like a father, then that is going to be very helpful in you having the right perspective on how men behave.
Yeah.
Like, trust me, I know when I've done things that made my dad emotional. Did he start bawling? No, I wouldn't actually want him to do that. That would actually make me think I did too much, But I've seen him be emotional, and those are private moments. Jeez. That's all it is. Like, I wouldn't want to share that with anybody.
Women want guys to show their emotions. Well, that's very easy. Get him angry. He'll show you.
No, but like women want men to show their emotions until they actually show their emotions, and then they
don't want to show your emotions.
Yeah, I don't do those kind of things out in public. Like, no, if my dad's showing emotion, that's between me and him. That was our bonding moment, Screw the rest of the world. But
he says that she's attracted to men's laughter. I mean, that's an expression of emotion right there.
Yeah, there you go.
But that's just that's such an easy one that everyone has. Like, pushing sadness is actually harder to do. Not everybody's just depressed all the time.
Yeah.
And men certainly don't necessarily, like, I mean, obviously we have problems right now. Like, there's definitely a lot of mental health going on both sides, to be honest.
Well.
But yeah, no. I understand it a lot better when a guy goes to a gym or if he has a specific sport or something that he does, where that's where he goes and, yeah, I was having a bad day, I went to the gym, and then he comes home and, maybe Terry does it in a video game. I don't know. I figured
no. If I didn't have access to my video games, my emotional stability would be compromised. That's very, very much a part of my ability to sort of process things is I'll lose myself in a video game and feel better afterwards.
I think that's the thing is
But Kate says that her stepdad has cried in front of her multiple times. She doesn't seem as listening. It depends why he's crying. I mean,
it's also a stepdad as opposed to a lover. Yeah, it's also different for a relative, stepdad, and that kind of thing, as opposed to someone who's going to be your husband or something. There's a different dynamic there. You're going to have to depend on that man to protect you, and if he falls apart, then you can't be protected, and It's not something you can control. Once you lose faith in somebody in that perspective, you'll never get it back. So I've never
there's
cried.
appropriate reasons for a man to cry. Like if you told me that you cried at like a funeral, I was like, well, sure, of course, that's fine. That's an appropriate time for anyone to cry. But if you're crying because you really wanted ice cream, but you got to the shop and they were all sold out, then no, you shouldn't be crying about that.
No. Well, I mean, I couldn't cry. I couldn't force myself to cry. I mean, women and actors and stuff can force themselves to do that. I can't. I mean, when my mother passed and they were about to put her in to bury her, I walked up to the casket and I just put my hand on it for a few minutes before she let go. I could feel, what you feel at that point, but I could not do anything to make it apparent to anyone else what I was feeling. Like I didn't feel like I had to cry. I mean, the only, it's going to sound weird, but the only time I've ever cried, I've never cried in front of a girl. I've never cried in public, or never a girlfriend. But and this is going to sound silly, but maybe Kieran will see this as a little differently than some people will. But when I only had one pet in my life, I mean, of my own. My parents had a dog. My parents had a couple dogs, but I've only had my own pet once. It was a gray, short-haired tabby cat. And when I had to put that cat down, full out sobbing, crying, hysterical when I had to put that cat down.
See, for me, like when my dad died, it was really weird because I didn't cry until maybe 6 months later. And I was just listening to, I was watching like a YouTube video and they played the Cat Stevens song, Father and Son. And then for some reason, that song just brought everything to the surface. And I just cried. But then, like, once I finished crying, it's like, I didn't cry again. It's like I'd gotten all that pent up emotion out and then I was fine again.
It's also other things other than just sorrow. Like, example of that would be, and I hate having to borrow candor again, but we got an opportunity to watch her funeral with her family. And I know that she was a bit estranged from her dad, but he lost it over her casket. And I was like, that's not just sorrow, that's frustration. Like part of the fights he had with her is because as a dad, he couldn't fix her. He couldn't fix her problems.
That's completely fine. Like I said, there are situations where it is perfectly acceptable for men to cry. That is one of them. I have no problem with a father crying at his daughter's funeral.
I took my headphones off out of respect because I understood. Like, it's just, I even understood the fights. Like, when you have someone that you can't fix and you love them, I can understand not wanting
to.
Like,
well, I was so distraught over that cat and expressed it so clearly that the girl who was in there with me talking about it, who's like, I guess a nurse or whatever for veterinarian, kind of person, she was crying. So I was like, when I realized that she was crying too, I was like, oh. And I kind of quickly straightened myself out because it was just me and the cat, in my mind. But she was standing there, but I just wasn't focusing on her because of what was happening. But then I realized that I'm bawling and I can hear her sniffing. I'm like, uh-oh, she's crying too. I can't let that happen. So I straightened myself up. But I'll tell you, I got over that process a lot faster by letting it out.
Yeah. See, most of the things people are mentioning in chat is like death of a loved one. That I'm always fine if a man cries at that. That is just common sense.
I also don't believe in pushing someone to do it in front of you, like at a funeral.
No,
like
that's
sometimes that's like the last place that a person actually wants to be crying. Like when my dad lost his dad, I knew he went on his own to have his own cries, but when he was at that funeral, part of his expression of love to my grandfather was showing that he was okay by being in charge. That, yes, grandpa's gone, but everything's going to be okay. He's still expressing himself. He doesn't need to cry in front of me to know that he's probably done that a few times. you know, when he's ready to do that kind of stuff, like you, Terry, it shouldn't be on demand.
No.
It is private, you know, like if it was causing you problems, obviously maybe a family member would tell you like, hey, are you having problems with it? But no, it's natural to take your time with it.
JB in chat, if I can find it, he tried his damnedest to put on a brave face when his dad died. He has a disabled brother with delusional problems, so the brunt of it fell on him. Yeah, like at my dad's funeral, I was the same. Everyone needed a strong shoulder to cry on, and that was going to be me. I was going to provide that for them.
Yeah. Keywordhim says, so a man and a woman can't be on the same level or equal level and cry together. Interesting.
No, they can't.
Well, it's not can't. It's that it's not.
Shouldn't.
We are, men and women are different, and
Yes.
it's not natural for us as men to allow our emotions. It's not even
We don't
allow.
feel the need
We're just
to
not.
cry.
Yeah, it's not to even allow or even feel a need. It's just that it's our emotions stay within us. It's not natural for us to allow them to get out. But it's not even an allow. It's like our emotions don't really try to get out.
Yeah,
it's not occurring
like
to you to do it.
Even
it's not
occurrence
like I was
is
actively trying to avoid crying during my dad's funeral.
Yeah.
Just, I didn't feel like crying. That wasn't going to happen. That wasn't my emotional situation.
it's hard to explain when I mean, a bunch of guys can sit around and we can all look at each other and say something and we all nod and we know exactly what we're talking about. It's hard to try to put this position into words that someone who doesn't feel this way can understand.
Yeah.
And it's not because we think that the person that we're talking to is stupid. It's just that we don't have a way of articulating. The language does not allow us to give you enough rounded information for you to make an understanding of what we're trying to say. It's
men and women are so different that it is very hard for us to relate to each other on some of those issues. Like
like this one.
There are women who like genuinely believe that we think the way they do, but we're just socially pressured to keep it inside, and that's not the situation. We just
no, it's not all.
But some of those
feel those things.
Some of those women think that they have that same emotional level with their cat, and I'm like, no, you don't. I love my cat, and I know that you loved your cat, Hammer.
Oh yeah, very much so.
But I know I couldn't understand what the fucker was saying. It was a lot of practice of like paying attention to understand what they were trying to get at, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's a fundamental truth. We are different, and it's at a level that it comes before socialization. We are different from birth. We are like every animal. We are born with certain hardwired, hard-coded things, and in the respect of emotions, we are just fundamentally not the same. But there is a social component, but it's not a pressure. It's more of an understanding of how things work. Because to be honest with you, I've heard this many, many times. There was a girl on Joe Rogan who was the girlfriend of a famous fighter. I don't know which one it was.
Oh yeah, I heard about this.
MMA fighter, where he got into a fight with somebody and lost, and she was okay with it. And then he got into another fight and lost again, but he lost in a way that made him seem weak, and she broke up with him.
Yeah, he covered his face, and like she was thinking he should have just taken the hit like a man.
Right,
but instead he tried to protect his face, and he's like he looked scared and weak. And
he put his arms straight out to try to push the person off, but wasn't making any contact. He was just kind of flailing. And she said he should have just put his hand up and gave the guy a middle finger and said, "Fuck you." That's what he should have done. And I was like, okay. But I mean, she broke up with him because she saw weakness. And a lot of women will do that. And I mean, believe me, there are women out there, I don't know if, Jen, if you're one of them, who will understand that have the intelligence to understand that it has something to do with how masculine a man is in that kind of situation. There was another thing on Twitter about a guy and a girl and the girl's brother were together in a group and they got robbed. And the boyfriend took off and left left his girlfriend and her brother there.
Jesus.
Her brother ended up beating the hell out of the guy because it was a fake gun. It was a fake gun. But then she had lost faith And the boy, because he took off, the boyfriend,
Yeah.
she broke up with him the next day. She broke up with him the next day. And,
Yeah,
and
like,
it's a
once that feeling of
it's a
protection
panic.
is gone.
Yeah, it's panic. It's a panic response. He didn't do anything wrong. It's a panic response. It's fight or flight. It's built right into all of us. And he just picked one that she didn't like. She lost confidence, and now he's out. That's how it works.
Yeah.
She couldn't just have him sign up for like a martial arts course or something. Like, hey, listen, and then join it with them too, you know? Like,
and the brother was like, no. What he did was perfectly legitimate. You know, don't hold it against him. But she said, well, I just felt the ick now, and now I can't talk to him. So he's out.
Truthfully, I'd probably run too. I'm not a fighter by any means, and I know that I couldn't win a fight, so I'd probably try and run away. But I would also understand if that made someone less romantically or sexually attracted to me, because that's just the effect it's going to have. That's not going to make a woman feel protected or safe.
It's just not the same the other way around. If I was presented with that, and my girlfriend and I'd be like, good, she's out of the way.
Yeah,
you know, she's not going to get hurt. That's good. I'm glad you ran. But she's not going to be that way.
The male instinct is to protect women, and the female instinct is to protect children.
I don't remember who I heard this from, but I've heard it more than once, that the male human has more in common with a male ape than a female human.
Yeah.
Brain-wise.
That's pretty funny.
See, I'm a little bit of the odd nutter where I kind of prefer the idea of protecting everyone. It took a lot of eating my own ego to realize that staying out of certain things was probably how I helped some people better.
Yeah.
Like when we have floods, I stay away from that because I know they're dangerous and it puts other people at risk. That's one of the ways that I can go about actually protecting some of the men in my life. It's actually keeping myself out of risk in the first place.
No, especially because men are very protective of women. So if you're putting yourself in harm's way, protecting you becomes a higher priority, which can interrupt getting the job done. Because like, okay, everyone make sure Jen is safe, and then that is diverting resources from.
I have to fight off this guy. That's my issue, to fight off this guy. Now I have to fight off this guy with you interfering. You're just making it worse.
Yeah.
Like
if I'm running this guy, you get the fuck out. You run your ass off. Get out of there. Get in the car. Lock the doors. That's what you want to do, because that's going to allow me to go full force on this guy. I don't have to worry about you anymore. You're safe. You're protected. You're done. I can put everything I have into him, and I'm going to win if I do that. So you're helping me by leaving.
I always had the thought that like the best thing I could do was get myself out of the distance of the problem, and then try to find a place where I could actually seek other help, because I don't think that a guy should need to be Superman.
Call the cops.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You know,
I'll probably be dead by the time they get there. But that's all right.
But I'd still try. It's
that's what matters.
You know, if I'm not packing myself, which I'll be fair, the odd woman I've seen with a gun, I'm like, you know what? She figured something out. But no, if you can't protect yourself really, and I'm glad I had a brother. You know, I mean, he cheats because he's 500 pounds now, but having a brother taught me that, yeah, he could look scrawny and then he could be really big. Both of them could still kick your ass. Not every woman is
good.
Not every woman is an MMA fighter, and even they could be lost to certain men, you know?
What taught me this was a movie, because, you know, I'm a movie person. The movie is called The Competition. Richard Dreyfuss and Amy Irving, piano players in a competition with each other. They're out on a date, and like 3 sailors come up and start giving her a hard time. And instead of walking away, Richard Dreyfuss challenges them. And she pulls him off, and it pulls him away, and she looks at him and she says, "What are you trying to do, get me raped?" And I was like, yeah, that's right, because if it was 3-on-1, if he gets into a fight, they're going to win. And then what's going to happen to her, right? So when you're with a person, you have to think, how do I make her safe first? That's the priority.
I even think that way about cops. Like, say, okay, I hate bringing up 9/11 as an example, but I will, because it's an easy one.
Us Americans don't care about this at all. Go ahead, say what you want.
But like, say I was in downtown New York, I was actually there on a visitation or something, because back during the 2000s, I actually did want to go to New York. It was one of those cities that was, it looked really cool. Even if it was dirty and full of rats, I still kind of wanted to see it based off of the movies and the TV shows, and you know.
Mhm.
But say I went there on tour and I was just there at a really bad fucking time. If I was near a cop, my first priority is making sure the cop's okay. I know he's there to make sure I'm okay, but I need him to be alive because I'm fucking screwed without him. Like, am I wrong for thinking that?
No.
Same with the firefighters. I'd be like, anything you want me to do to get me the fuck out of the way so you're safer and all that shit, tell me what to do, you know?
Yeah.
Like
the music poll went about as I expected. The two that I was pretty sure it would be between got like almost all the votes.
Yeah, the problem is a lot of people don't know the other songs until they
Yeah.
hear them, and I can't play them.
Not on
What
YouTube.
what I probably should have done was the music that I played for you on Rumble before the show, so you can get a listen to what the songs were. I probably should have cut that down to much more bite-sized chunks that YouTube wouldn't have a problem with, and played them on YouTube for people, because these songs, some of these songs are obscure enough, like they were obscure to me. Once you hear them, you're like, oh, I know that song. I like that song. You know, I think a lot of people on YouTube would probably feel the same way, because they don't come to Rumble and hear the songs that we're going to do for the night.
Well, they should.
They should
do that.
They really
And
should.
then the problem would be solved.
I don't know what's wrong with you guys. You should be over on Rumble with us.
Exactly.
So what I should have done is come down to a bite size, and when I have an artist who has like one or two good hits and a couple of are not quite so obvious, people would probably say, oh, I know that song. I like that song. Let me vote for that. And it could change some minds. But now that it's over, I can say I was hoping people would pick Fly, to be honest with you, because I found a version that works really better than the one that I played for you. That's the one that you get when you buy the album. I found a mix-up mashup version that was much better for the show, but I'm not going to get a chance to play it. So maybe.
No, not this time.
Not this time. Maybe another time. So
And
that's fine.
Company says Rumble has no poll. No. That's
No,
why
it
you need
doesn't.
to watch both parts of the show. You watch the pre-show so you can hear the sample, and then you come over to YouTube so you can vote. It's very simple, Jack.
Yeah. Typically, I send links out on Twitter. Didn't do that this time because didn't have the list again. I really have to rewrite that. But yeah. If to be honest with you, I don't know how Reject would feel about that. But if they had a poll option on Rumble, I'd probably just run the show there. Because
I'd be fine with that.
Because imagine having the entire night to say whatever you wanted to say. The freedom in that. I mean, I'm American. It's all about freedom. Fine.
It's not just that. I also, I do think it's about time that we all kind of did start trying more to pick another outlet. You know, the only places that we're really still being attacked is YouTube and Twitch. I don't use Twitch anyway because I love some of the people that use it, but I don't like their interface, and I never have.
I don't like their interface either. I'm right with you on that.
I never have. Never have. But I do think that YouTube is still going to be used against us, and if Rumble offers us a place to just speak our minds, a lot of people have moved there. Monkey does stuff there.
Sure.
A lot of people, you know, I've even been thinking of trying to get Satsu to move his Twitch stuff there because he doesn't get any views on Twitch anyway. I'm like,
right.
Rumble, because Rumble is kind of a mixed blend of either gamers or pretty much politics.
Yeah.
You do get a lot of people going to the game side, you know. Some people just want to play music when they play their games. It's simple stuff like that.
The problem is that Rumble is basically just the people who've been kicked off YouTube.
For now.
For now, it is still growing though. Like they are still kind of growing.
But like that's kind of its reputation. So like if I wanted to watch, you know, a Pokemon battle, most of the people that I watch aren't going to be on Rumble because they've got no reason to be on Rumble because they haven't been kicked off YouTube.
Yeah. You got to keep throwing the ad in there because it's going to happen. Two things would get me on Rumble permanently. One is to be able to broadcast 4K because you can't do that on Rumble as far as I can tell. I haven't been able to do it. And I could do that in my sleep on YouTube, no problem. And if they had a poll, those are the two things that would get me to move.
I just maybe I am just being the pressure bitch here, but with Satsu, and this is one of those things I'm going to bring up with him, like he dual streams his streams on YouTube and Twitch. So like if he were to do that, but just switch out the Twitch with the Rumble, like what are you really changing there?
Yeah, you're getting nobody on Twitch. Might as well get nobody on Rumble.
There you go.
I mean,
you know, before it starts to push, because it will. I do think it will. I think given what I've seen from our lefties, like I've been watching a lot of the Kotaku thing because her fake lawsuit was rather funny. But they're going to double down. Like what they did with Asmongold, they're going to keep doing that kind of shit because it's the only power they really have left. Take it away from them. What do they have left? Kick? TikTok? TikTok, I don't think is going to last much longer either.
yeah.
I have never used TikTok. My only exposure to TikTok has been people reacting to things they found on it.
Pretty much. I refuse to download it.
Yeah. Yeah. My exposure to TikTok, like you, has been people taking clips from TikTok and putting them on Twitter.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of that. There's
TikTok
a lot of
looks
videos
like it's kind of become like the leftovers of the angry people from X and the ex-Tumblrites.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't. I should probably get on TikTok. I think I have an account there because whenever something new comes out, I always put an account there to hold it. I should probably put it on my phone again and start perusing it because I'm sure I can find a lot of content for the show on TikTok.
Yeah, of course.
So
punish yourself during the day.
Yeah, I definitely would be.
I just have no interest in it. It's like anything I want to watch, I'll watch on YouTube. I don't need another video platform. Really.
Well, I explored other video platforms for the show. I was like Odyssey and what was the other one I was looking at? DLive and stuff like that.
Oh, I remember that. That used to be a thing.
Yeah, and I just couldn't find anything that was even close to Rumble or YouTube in quality. Odyssey's a nightmare. Try to set it up to get it to work. It's just like, oh my God, this is 35 steps. I can't do that every night. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, so I just dropped them. I guess I could do Twitter, but I have to buy a Twitter account. I have to
get that.
I have to go to Twitter Premium. For much as I like to have long posts, that would be nice benefit. I really still don't think it's worth it yet.
I don't see the value in it.
I would wait for that anyway because they're still working that stuff out. Like my understanding is the money on X still isn't really good. Like they still have to figure out how they're allocating it.
Well, it wouldn't be for money for us anyway, but yeah, you're right. They haven't figured out the money thing. So there's no real reason.
And I mean, and we're really just doing it to stream. We're like,
yeah, well, I mean,
that's
that's my motivation. You're absolutely right. My motivation for almost everything I've done with this stream is just to show everybody about how big my dick is. It really isn't anything that we need to do. You know, we could just do YouTube and be fine with that because we can certainly, every night we broadcast, we do censor ourselves while we're on YouTube. So we certainly can do it. Everyone can.
Yeah.
But I like to be able to say, if someone comes to me and they say, oh, yeah, well, I do YouTube. I say, yeah, do you broadcast at 4K? No? 60 frames? No? You don't do Rumble too? No? Like to poke at them a little bit.
You want to be able to talk about bundles of sticks and words that rhyme with bigger, and you can't do that on YouTube. You get in trouble.
I just like doing things that people don't typically do just because it's weird and stupid. That's the reason why I like it so much. So I know it's just a glitch in my personality. I was like, you don't do 40K or 4K? You don't do 60 frames? What the hell's wrong with you? And there's no real reason to do it. It's a talk video. It's talk. It's not like I'm playing videos or it's not gaming or anything like that. It's just a couple of circles on the screen with some logos. Why do I need 4K for that? But fuck it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Well, silly shit. All right. Well, we got it. We did get to a couple of topics this time. That's practically legendary.
We almost covered all of them, I'd say.
Unless you guys have something else you want to talk to, we can get out of here.
I
No,
got
I'm good.
nothing of great importance, but I would say look to the future with Canada, because for some reason Justin's trying to start a war with us in India, and I'm just going to sit back and laugh.
You probably have sent that to me as a topic to talk about tonight. That would have been a good one to discuss what's going on as far as India and all these people getting killed and shit like that. It sounds kind of freaky.
There's a lot there. I haven't really investigated all of it because every time it crops up, I'm like, I'm going to wait on this one because it's going to get worse.
Well, maybe next week. Remind me.
Yeah.
Send me a thing in our Twitter group, and we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, okay. I'll at least send you some of the people that I've been watching because they give a pretty good rundown.
Yeah, Terry, don't forget to send me that link to that guy that you were watching too.
The aristocratic utensil. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. I'll never remember that name. All right, let's go ahead and get out of here then. Thanks, fam, as always, for chatting with us tonight. If you can't wait for the next Wednesday's show, remember, Minions are live every evening except Tuesdays, with most shows starting around 11:30 p.m. Eastern, 6 days a week. Host and start times are linked in the description down below. As always, don't forget about Rumble, because that's where we do all the things we're not allowed to do on YouTube. That stream usually starts about half an hour before YouTube anyway. So we'll be back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. as we always are, because we're consistent. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and we'll see you again next week. Have a great night, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.